and they have how do they call the corpses liquids on the water because you can identify by the color. So someone collected it and examined. Like the smell, no one can be around. Like the place was zero noise, completely empty.
Welcome to another great episode of the Hunter Talk podcast. Conrad Schubach here.
Dylan Wilson.
George Abaj.
And we are one co-host down today for this week.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Dad duties.
Yeah,
That dude, man, it happens. I
Between the four of us.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get it.
And it's happened to me on a couple of occasions. So, Hilton, we're thinking of you.
Yes,
hopefully
we
you're
are.
able to log in and chime in, being live.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's actually a good point. Let's get that link going out.
Yeah,
Dylan.
let's
Yeah,
send that out
yeah.
to some people and then join us in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, before we
Give me one
start,
second here to send
Yeah.
this out.
and before we start the news, let me just tell you. Let me just ask you, because you just mentioned this thing about being a father or not being a father. Like Dylan and I are not fathers, right?
Yeah.
Can a person be truly happy without having kids?
I don't know.
Depends who you ask.
You may think you're happy.
Yes,
I
don't
think
know,
I'm pretty
I don't know.
happy.
Because look,
I want
but
kids.
because we are in kind of different situations, right? So probably by my age, you, Dylan, you have your kids because probably you want to have kids.
Yeah, I think so. I would say.
So,
let's get
although
into-
The situation now is the same, right? We have like year, age gap, and so I have
animals.
Yeah, exactly. You have animals to replace, right? Not replace, but at least to fill in the void,
Yeah.
right? So, but in America also, most parents at my age, the kids are actually leaving home.
Yeah.
So you have kids, but they are,
They're still living home.
they are children. They are childrenless, right? So, how is it? Is it the pride to be a father? Because
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a pride of being a father, a pride of seeing your offspring have certain successes in life. Like today, my daughter made a Happy Father's Day,
Wow,
card,
that's
and
sweet.
it had like suit ties and different things she wrote in there saying I was her hero and other things. And it's like, that was cool. I was like, man, that is a special feeling of having that type of interaction. But does it make me any more complete as a person? I guess I'll say this. I can't imagine my life without.
you can't.
I can't.
Yes.
I can't.
So
But that's just me. There's other people out there that are like, yeah, I don't want kids. I can't deal with kids. One person I met, they were like, I don't want kids because I'm too selfish.
Okay.
okay.
And they're like, I need to focus on me. And it was, and that's fine. That at least you have the maturity and the wherewithal to recognize that instead of bringing a kid into this life and living in like in a broken environment.
Yeah, that is true. Recognizing that. I've heard from many people that you don't really know what love is until you have kids.
Right.
That feeling when you love
Which is
your kids
another
so
strong
much.
argument, for having kids, right?
Yes.
Also, another argument is that, come on, if more people are like you, George, then the population is over in 2 generations or something like this. It's a question of surviving.
When you compare us to the baby boomers, we are very behind in repopulation.
Right. And I think the statistics are showing that we are below the capacity to actually compensate all the death and all the, what do you call it, the population. I forgot the name. But anyway, so it's supposed to be 2.1 kids per family. You know,
Right.
and then our current in the US is 1.9. So even with all the foreigners
Just under.
coming inside,
It's still under.
it's still under.
It's crazy how far apart the reality is from what it feels like. It must be just like hotspot cities. Everywhere I go, there's just so many people everywhere. It's hard to imagine that as a country we're underpopulated.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's just some rural areas, that make up a bigger percentage than some of these hotspot cities.
Probably I would say that this is true for big cities where you live in apartments. Because come on, I live in a house. I mean, you see, it's inviting to have kids. You have a swimming pool and a big house, and then a backyard, front yard. But in a city where I'm just watching this TV series in which the family lives with 4 kids in New York in an apartment.
An apartment, yeah.
It's 3 bedrooms, so 2 kids per bedroom plus the parents. Right? Yeah. What was that? Who is in there?
Is that a comment?
It's Hilton.
Hilton.
Yeah. That's Hilton.
Hilton, we miss you.
Howdy,
Yeah.
partner.
We started a conversation actually because of you.
About fatherhood.
Fatherhood, yes. And all the duty, and all the duties you have and all the, I think it makes you somehow I think it makes you more responsible too. I think it makes you more mature because it's another life that truly depends on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would say that would be like an effect of the cause, but I wouldn't think it's something that's like, oh, I need to get my shit together. I should have a kid because that's going to force me to. The reverse mindset is kind of crazy.
Perfect.
But you
yes.
are right that it would result in that, or you would hope so. There's a lot of bad parents out there too.
Yeah.
Just bad people, end up
Yeah.
making bad parents.
Like bad at parenting. I mean, like, not that they are bad people, but they are bad parents.
Well, they're
That
both.
too, but there's both. Like, so there are some bad people who
'Cause I
do
can
bad
see-
things to their kids, and you see, small percentage, but you see crazy stuff in the news. People that don't let their kids out of the house and lock them in a basement. And they
Leave them in the car in 110-degree weather
Yeah.
without air conditioning.
feed them a couple times a week.
Windows
or-
closed,
Yeah.
no air conditioning.
Not even just bad parenting. It's like torturous. It's like something a kidnapper would do, but it's their actual parent. That's stuff that you see on the news.
I literally, I apologize. Let me pull it up.
What's
I
that?
saw a meme the other day, and I go, "This is." So it says, "Once I became a parent, I finally understood the scene where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just dies." And it's just a picture of Yoda laying
Oh my
down.
god! I just flew. Oh my
Luke is
god!
just, hey,
You know
the
what?
Force. And he's
Yeah, I
like,
know.
yeah,
Death is better than that.
yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, too much now.
You'll figure it out. The Force will
Yeah.
find you. I'll see you later.
Yeah. I think also there is this sense of community that plays an important role in that, because you see, you got the families, you're growing your own community, you're bringing more elements to the community. I feel that a little bit. Okay, so I feel that there is a little bit of prejudice because I don't have kids. I feel that.
Against you?
It's not.
It's not against him.
It's not
But
against
It's not
me.
singling you out, but just against people that don't have kids.
It's not on purpose. They don't invite you because it's kids.
Yeah.
There are kids in
Sure.
there. Everybody has kids. They don't have kids, so they don't invite you.
Sure.
you
Which
know?
is the craziest thing, because George with kids is like
Incredible, right?
watching
Yeah.
the work, like Mary Poppins on steroids. Go to town. I mean, I have never seen anyone as good with kids, like getting them to interact and open up and just be kids and play, like
Seriously?
George.
I've seen it, and it's like for those types of parties, you'd be
Oh yeah, you're
begging
there.
for
Yeah.
someone like this to come along
Yeah.
and keep them entertained. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
give you a little bit of a break.
But I realize that I don't know. Maybe it's just my impression. It's just that maybe I don't know. I don't know the reason, but I feel a little bit of this. And I'm not the only, because I interact with other couples that decided not to have kids, right? and I feel that this is something that it's tacit. It's not discussed,
Right.
but you can tell in this speech, like through this speech that they feel this way.
Sure.
Uh, Some of them are more vocal and they go there and they say that, but no, I feel that. So I think there is this sense of community too, and also because it's hard to raise. Look, if you have a kid, it's two adults taking care of one kid.
Yeah.
Okay, so you alternate, you sleep, right? But when it's two kids is not the double of one. It means 4 times 1. Because now you never rest.
The one needs 2, right?
Exactly, right? So the one needs 2. So, and then of course you have like 3, 4 kids. I don't know how they handle it. I've got a friend who's just had got his 6th kid. 6th kid.
That's at the point where
That's
kid
good.
number 1 helps raise kid number 6.
That's right.
There's different
You know.
strategies on it because there's that. I just couldn't imagine every couple of years, once you spread, you're never getting a break. If you have 2 in 2 years and they grow up together, it's at least you kind of got through the hardest parts at the beginning. But if it keeps out 5 kids, 6 kids, it's okay, for the past 10 years now, you've had no breaks. Your 2-year-old turned 4, then you got another 2-year-old, and you got a new baby. Your 6-year-old turns 8.
You're saving clothes for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna use it.
Well, you're spending a lot elsewhere.
Especially the
You have to
first
find
4
a fit.
years there, right? I bet the first 4 years, because it's 2 months, 3 months later, the probably the clothes don't fit anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
the
Grows
first
so
the first
fast.
years,
Yep.
So, but anyway, it makes the economy grow. It's good for the economy. It's good for big parties if you're. I mean, I don't know what being around the family and having dinners. I don't know what it is. This thing. So probably that's why I don't have kids too. But were you part are your families big meeting families, like Thanksgiving big ones, Christmas big ones? Did you have part of this?
Growing up more so than now when we were younger, my mom has 4 siblings, so she's one of 5. She only had 3 kids. Her sister had 4 kids, 3 boys, and 4 kids. The other one had 3, so they all had more than 2, the average, but it's trending down. And we used to get together when we were younger with all the uncles and everybody, but now not so much. But I mean, it's fun when you're a kid. All the cousins get together
You
and
see,
interact and hang out. So we did have that. But as it were trending forward, Sam, I think she's max 2 kids. And if we need 2.1, not going to happen. But if we have
you're doing your
twins,
part. You're almost
we're
there.
stuck.
Somebody's doing 3.
So yeah, someone's got to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
My sister already has 2, so maybe she just have 1 more. Now we
Right.
can average us out of our other sister.
And you're doing your part. And does it make most of the time? I believe that having a bigger family somehow, helps you understand what it is to be a parent. Oh, yeah, 3, 4 uncles you can talk, aunts you can talk. You know what I'm saying? Is more people helping you in the process.
Yeah.
What would happen if Tamirs and I had a baby now? It would be just the 2 of us. My mother is 84. She wouldn't be able. I mean, she would get 10 years younger just for the first years. Because there's this energy of a kid. That's my only regret. To be honest, my only regret of not having a kid is, denying my mother of this feeling
Grandmotherhood.
of being a grandmotherhood.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that makes me still think, even at my age, because Tamir is 36, so it's in the curve, right? That's the only thing. But also, so how many parents travel to a different country and now the grandparents don't have the opportunity to see their kids?
Right.
Or even in the U.S., right? I mean, it doesn't need to be a different country, It could be the same country, You go to California, your family's from New York, and then you see the family once every 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have a child, my mom would have to be here 6 months, the legal maximum time she can stay here. go back, just wait 6 more months, and then come back again. So this is what we would do. I would ask her to be here all the time because we'd be working, and I think it would be great for her too, not to put her to work. Because we would hire. Caminos and I discussed the whole thing. We discussed the whole thing.
Okay.
We would hire a Korean because they have, apparently the Koreans, they have like hundreds, maybe thousands of years of experience of dealing with this process of 3 months before the birth, the labor, and 6 months later, they have like they're super experienced. They have all these techniques, and if you see, there are books about it. So probably would bring we would bring a Korean for 9 months, to sacrifice our present.
What's it called? Is it a doula or something?
A doula, yeah. Doula is more for it like helps that, the labor.
But advanced.
Yeah. But this is like on steroids, but they help with they teach the whole thing. There's guides, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's even a course at any university or something.
Wow.
Like this. Okay. It's like super organized, right? So probably I would do that. And my mom would be there just to enjoy. I would probably provide.
She would enjoy that too.
Huh?
She would enjoy that.
Yeah. Sure. So
it's like a win-win.
Yeah, and
get to see her more.
How it is to have right? So your wife works, right?
Yeah.
How it is to have 2 kids? You have 2 kids?
2.
2 kids, and both parents working.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a pretty flexible work schedule, working from home and working, with a tech company that obviously does allow a lot of freedom in that regard.
Well, that helps.
That helps. It does help. So it's me, on the days that Camila is working, I'm going to school, picking up the kids, I'm taking them to certain appointments, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's more flexible.
Yes, it is more flexible.
Think about for families where they have jobs, they have to be physically at the job, which is very strenuous. So they work from, I don't know, back in Brazil, it's from 7:30 to 6:30. You see 10, 11, 12 hours. It takes 2 hours to get to the, it's very common. Like 2 hours to go to the job and 2 hours back. So 4 hours in
a bus.
It's just like packed buses. How much more you get tired because you have to stand 2 hours standing from your job.
Well, and then you get home. How much energy do you really have to put towards your kids? Even
to be a good mother, to be a good father. So it's a very tough. So there's a lot of discussions. Getting back to our point, to the speech of what is his name, the kicker from the Chiefs?
Harrison Butker, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel that I've seen a lot of arguments towards this, right? In which,
and women tell the viewers in case they're unaware of the situation.
Yeah, basically, right. So you saw it, you said it well, right? So he believes that his wife said that she only felt that she was complete as a woman when she had a baby, right? A staying home mother rather than working, So, and then he received a lot of backlash because of that, a lot of backlash. And I said, we discussed it here. He could have measured a little bit better his words, but I think people made a lot of fuss on that. Too much fuss on that.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do. But I think it would be better if you just said, okay, a man can do that too, but that goes against what he believes,
Yeah, I thought there was more to it though, and I don't know, just a quick thing that I read, something about he just spoke against all the wokeism that's happening in the world, and he's just...
So, in a sense, so that's the
twist, so...
Yeah.
I think...
That's what I figured, because the way that it's always played out is like it's so he's a bad person.
Yeah, but we're finally kind of getting towards I think the end of this cancel culture that's been around for so long. So there was a lot of backlash, but there isn't like craziness. There's still people calling for him to lose his job, like always, but I don't know that that's going to happen necessarily.
And what I feel ironic is there's no backlash against Tyreek Hill, who has, I think he has 10 kids with 8 or 9 different women.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, like, how do you, as a father, be a good father for everyone, right? So there's no backlash because, I mean, it's publicly known. They've even showed on games where he came up and kissed one of the wives or the girlfriend, baby mamas, and, kissed the baby and then went to a different one. Yeah. So the thing is, at the same game, so it's kind of a double standard because it's like to your point, how can you be a good father for all of these kids when you're not there?
Different states, different moms, different living situations. And then you have a guy going up and saying like, my wife didn't feel complete or, didn't feel like a woman until she was at home with our kids. So.
Yeah, someone's speaking about their experience too. I feel like, what does that mean? Why would you attack that? That's one person's experience,
I think the combo was the problem. And his past, also, some of his speech. I think the idea is because you see, I just read this, watched this video saying that yes, cultural cancel culture, right? There are over 1,000 books about that, So
I'm sure
if they were really canceled, they wouldn't be selling 1,000 books. And then there's also this montage, right? So it's like. It was just some Fox or Mag or whatever, I don't know, saying, "Oh, I could never say this word," and then the person put it's like a potpourri of like 20 times they saying this, and then the other person, "Oh, I cannot say this." So it is true. We know it's true, but it's also a weapon. It's also a weapon about this, and what he said just is polarizing it. And it's about family. But my initial point was, women coming to, we haven't solved it. We still don't know. From the 60s, when women start coming to the market, right? To the, to work.
Job force.
To the job force, to the workforce, yes. We still don't know exactly how to deal with that. It's been 60 years, and we're still struggling how to deal what is better, Think about, you live in a big city, both parents, then the kids, then more and more the schools create activities. So the kids have to do so many. Sure. It's languages, it's martial arts, it's ballet, it's this, and then they play the piano. But the parents are not around for 12 hours. So, and the rich family, they won't also be around. The nanny will be around, so the kid is actually being raised by the nanny.
Yes.
Yeah. I always thought that was weird when that happened.
One of my favorite movies is Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey. And the funny part of that, he worked for Globodyne, like some big company.
Wasn't it a parody of like Enron or something like that?
Yes.
About what?
Enron. And he basically got promoted to be the vice president at the very beginning of the movie because the CEO knew they were going down. He needed to fall guy. But they just got this new house, they had a nanny and everybody that lives there, and then they lose everything, and he has to go sit on like a side of a Home Depot with a bunch of Mexican guys trying to get a job. And he's fighting for it, and he gets punched in the face, and then ICE basically comes in and picks them all up, and they're asking him for his ID, and it fell out of his pocket. He's talking with such like his accent sounds weird, so they don't believe that he's American. He's like, hold on, let me call home, just talk to my wife. He calls home, son answers. He's like, hola, because he spends all his time every day with the Spanish nanny. He's just raised, and so the whole joke, the whole movie long is when they're getting a TV taken away, he's like, I want to watch my, Telemundo, my soccer, like everything he's into is all like Spanish related. So he's just raised by the nanny the whole time.
Yeah. So parenting, it's still, I believe it has always been a challenge through history. But now with both parents, small families, tiny families.
Well, and you know what? To get back into this, I had just watched a video on TikTok, I think it was, where in China they're teaching kindergartners cooking classes, like full-on gourmet meals on how to cook, how to roll and make their own dough to make the guza, I think it's called.
Gyoza?
Gyoza. Yeah.
Gyoza.
Pot stickers.
Noodles, pot stickers, noodles. Like they're teaching kids and it was making me hungry. I'm
They're
going,
so
God,
accelerated.
damn little children are making me hungry with these foods. But it's a male and female, boys and girls doing it. To that point, like you said, some families, the moms can go to work and the dads can stay home and play the opposite role figures of what you would consider, reverse role.
Gender norms.
Yes.
roles.
And that's okay. And I really think what's happening, because you had brought up the point of like how in schools they're learning this, they're learning this, they're learning this, but those at-home skills of sewing. Were you ever taught sewing?
No.
I wasn't. Were you ever taught sewing? That's a skill I would really like to pick up and know. Hey, I got a hole in my pocket. All right, let me grab my needle and thread.
How do you attribute that to women? Because it's so practical.
Right.
It shouldn't be attributed to women.
And that's my point. Is these type of basic skills that are being taught in other parts of the world, but is not being taught in the United States
By gender, yeah.
either by gender or whatever. But the thing is, like, boys and girls should know how to cook a meal. Boys and girls should know how to sew. Hey, if apply first aid, do some type of wash the wound, put antibiotics, put a Band-Aid, something like that, to clean themselves. When they go to the bathroom,
when they get hurt, just the small things, you know.
So that's what
regular
I'm saying.
cleanliness, doing
Cleanliness,
laundry
yes.
and stuff,
Washing their hands, blowing their nose, like stuff like that unfortunately is not being taught. I mean, we are teaching our kids, and that's what I find so interesting, that like how it's a lot of this schooling is up to the parents. Hey, your kids are failing in this. What are you going to do about it? It's like, well, I mean, I'm working 24/7. My wife is doing this, and this. Like, we'll try and find time to find a tutor or something like that. Yeah, you need to come up with a good action plan because they're failing in this. And it's like
Talking about pressure, right?
yeah,
You can't make enough to pay for your bills, and you have a teacher or a pedagogue telling you, "Hey, you're failing as a parent."
Yeah.
My good.
your kid is failing.
Your kid is
You
failing.
need to pick up their
Therefore,
slack.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that speaks to also the workload put on teachers and how much money they don't make. And it's like, you want to say, well, that's your job, but they have so many classes. Teacher is such a loose term. It's like they're kind of just instructing curriculum, but you do have to stay late and send the kids to actual tutors to get deeper knowledge on things that they're not understanding. But teachers get a PowerPoint, I appreciate all the teachers out there, but
Right.
To a degree, a lot of it is kind of like, here's this, write it down, learn what you need to learn, and then move on. And because it's a 20, 30, 40 kid classroom, there's not really enough one-on-one time if someone's not getting it. And that's just what our public school system is.
With
The regurgitation of a curriculum.
yes,
Hey, today I read in the book, or today's curriculum, you are going to learn history in its
Which-
pages 1 through 7, and then
Yeah.
after that is going to be algebra.
Then you're going to go to the back and write down chapter 1's vocabulary words and the definitions, and then that's all you learn. But you're basically learning how to store short-term memory, pass a test,
memorize. Mhm.
and then you move on, which is a good skill. But that's not learning in depth on all of these things. It's learning how to get through what you need to get through, and that's really no fault of the teachers. That's the way that the curriculum is based. So
And there's so little freedom also for the teachers. Like think about,
A very good point.
huh?
The teachers are in a box.
They are.
You have to teach this curriculum.
Exactly.
You do not deviate from it.
No.
if you do, it's like one special day or something like that. It has to be approved by God, him or her themselves.
Yes.
In order for it to
As
happen.
if 30 people, 40 students in the classroom would, as someone is so smart, so intelligent, that this person would be able to, I don't know, is anything happening there? You see the person, okay, so the person devising the whole program is so so intelligent and so capable to see everything, all the aspects that one book fits everyone.
It's the narrative. Yeah, fits.
Fits everyone. Like 40 students, man. I don't know. I've seen it. Kids with ADHD, like
Yeah.
how do they perform in class? I mean, and we know that more and more people are getting this because there are so many distractions nowadays.
Mhm.
How do you make these kids sitting for 5 minutes? There should be specific education. So I actually call out parents who have the means. I don't know, man. If I have enough means, if I had kids, I would probably have tutors for my kids. Like 5, 4. Because you see, the first year's chemistry, biology, physics, and mathematics could be taught by one person.
Sure.
Right? And then geography, history, languages, and whatever, English, could be literature, could be taught by another one. And then you have these 2 or 3 teachers, right? And it would be one-on-one. And then people say, hey, man, but then you would pride them for a social life. What are you talking about? If I put my kid in the sports, my kid would have friends from soccer, from basketball, then from the piano classes, from whatever.
Yeah.
They would have friends from a neighborhood. Oh, I don't know. Do you keep like 20 friends from your high school?
I
20
don't.
friends.
I know a lot of people that do, but I don't.
I got like 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
I'd be like, these are my friends.
Would it be different if you played soccer for 10 years and you have 3, 4 friends from there?
No, it's the same, right?
And you would even have something in common. In school, you don't have almost anything in common. Different social classes, different interests, different everything.
Yeah.
It'd be much easier to have a stronger friendship if they belong to the video game team. Oh, what's that? So people are, who someone is
Oh, it's
participating.
my mom.
It's your mom. Oh my God, it's so cool.
She said, talk about my
You're 7 years of homeschool.
my homeschooling. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I went to public school up until 6th grade or 5th grade. And I loved, I'm the type that's very social. I was always making people laugh, hanging out with my friends. And then we moved, and where we moved, it was just too
Sorry,
far,
yes.
too far away to go. I mean, it could have been done, but I'd have to wake up at like 4 a.m. and catch the bus. 2 hours there, 2 hours back, type of deal.
Becoming a difficulty.
Yeah. So, and my mom and dad were in a position where my dad was able to work and my mom was able to stay home. So we did like a homeschool, charter school type of.
Which grades?
So through middle school and high school for me.
Middle school. Okay. Middle school. Okay.
So when I got into high school, I did a lot more charter school, and then I went into early college at one of the kind of like ACC community colleges. They
Okay.
had one there where I was able to go to college and as like a high school student, and those college credits would
Like
count.
dual credit
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Dual credit type of
Amazing.
thing.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the type of education, I remember I'd have a cooking class, and my mom would be like, "Hey, we're making."
To your point.
We would watch Rachel Ray. She was my lady, and we would cook pastas, and we would do this. I would make cookies, do this, that type of thing. My mom was there, right? Was right there with me, instructing me, helping me. We would write down recipes. My dad was big into Shakespeare, so as a family, because I'm one of 3. You haven't met my brother. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. And my dad is huge into reading, so we would do Shakespeare, and each person would read And of course, when you're in high school, you're like, this is bullshit. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. But at the same time, looking back at it, like the stories are so interesting. And then playing that persona, like we had each had characters, and we would take turns reading and stuff. And seeing the grief that I gave my mom and dad, I'm like, I was a little shithead. But
Well-
and but looking back, but then
Public recognition, Carla.
yeah. See, and it's like, but at the same time, I look back at it and it was like that was one of the best experiences. Like reading, Romeo and Juliet, reading The Tempest, reading, Midsummer's Night Dream with my family and stuff. So, having that one-on-one experience as opposed to, like you said, the 20, 30 students have to fit into the book. Hey, did you pass this? You
It's
didn't pass
kind of
this?
sink or swim in a way. Like you either excel at it or you don't.
Yep.
In between, you just struggle, So that's why-
Exactly.
But they offer tutors and stuff at the school, but it's still up to you to stay late,
Right.
And then when you're a teenager, you don't care about that.
No.
And when you don't have anybody guiding you and forcing you to do the things that you need, you don't do it.
You want to go hang out with your friends. You want
Yeah.
to go play or do whatever.
And if you're in sports or whatever, at 5 o'clock, like I'm off to football practice. I'm
Exactly.
off to soccer.
Yeah.
I want to go play basketball.
So many kids just like PE, right?
Yeah. By 4 o'clock, your mind is somewhere else. You're ready to get out of there. There's so many kids that hated PE at
Right.
public school. They didn't ever want to go to the gym,
I make
Yeah.
the joke with my son. I'm like, he better be good at baseball or jiu-jitsu because education-wise, we are shit out of luck with him. So no, he's a good kid.
I remember back in school. I was in elementary school in the 80s, right?
Okay.
My elementary school was in the 80s, and I remember having civil classes. As to your point, we had like once a year for one period. We would have domestic techniques, how to fix doors, how to fix this. It was part of the school, It was part of the school.
Practical.
Right.
But I think in the 90s they changed the programs, right? So
Yeah.
and then it gets to the point that kids need to play. Have you heard this? Now kids only have to play. They don't have to play for 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
Right.
6 hours a day, so it's fine.
Or you make learning interactive and fun where it seems like they're playing, but they're also learning.
Exactly. So
Time flies when that's happening.
Yeah.
exactly, So and also now one more point regarding your cooking classes, right? How much do you learn about processes when you're cooking? For
Oh,
example.
a ton. Well, I learned.
Timing.
Well, it's interesting because I remember Rachel Ray. I forget what it was, but she cooked it different than how my mom did, and it confused the hell out of me because I'm like, so there's multiple ways of doing this one thing,
Huh.
and it opened up my mind to critical thinking. Like, what is easier for me? What is an easier if I'm trying to go for speed and just get a quick meal done? Do I do it Rachel Ray's way? If I'm doing like a slower, more let the sauce simmer,
Yeah.
I follow my mom's way of doing it. So at I don't want to say earlier in age, but at an age, critical thinking skills and decision making skills came into play as far as like what would I do, in these different situations.
Learning adaptability.
And I don't think that's really being taught in today's schools. That critical thinking anymore.
How does cheese melt?
Right.
And then you have an
Or different
opportunity
cheese.
exactly
Or different cheeses.
Yeah, different cheese they melt in different temperatures, or it takes longer. Like you can create competitions to see how long each food will take to. You know what I'm saying? So you're learning chemistry and physics at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This all these notions of time. So I think there are many. The classes somehow became so theoretical that when a kid tried to do that, think about you learn how to drive in theory. Come on, man, when you pick up a car, it's completely different. It's lives are at stake in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did. I mean, they have classes and stuff. I don't know how many kids nowadays go to actual like a brick and mortar place to do driving school. I'd be
Simulators,
curious.
you mean? Like simulators?
No, actual driving schools.
I
Like
had
you
to do
go
a driving
there.
school. Yeah.
I know people still do it. I'm curious the percentage because nowadays it's just like home taught. You get the thing sent to you, and your parents teach it, and then you go take your test when it's been a certain amount of time. But some
Really?
people, that's how I did mine. Yeah.
What?
They sent basically like a module course that it's timed, so you're in it and you can't skip ahead. So you have to read it all, then it quizzes you, then you move on to the next one, then you move on to the next one until you get a certain amount through, and then you pass it. Then you have like a 6 month period where you have to log X amount of hours driving with your mom and then
Right.
whoever's teaching you.
You have a
pass the
permit
receipt.
at that. Yeah.
You go and apply, you get the permit, and then to apply for your actual license, or I don't even know at that point if it's like a provisional permit, I don't remember. But you go and apply, and you have to turn in all of this paperwork, recording all the times that you drove, what days, the amount of miles, everything.
Mm.
And it's very easy. I got to a point where my mom's busy, worked a full-time job, single parent, didn't have a lot of time. So towards the time it was, she knew I could drive, I knew I could drive, so I was getting around the time to go turn it in. It's like, okay, 30 minutes of just let me back up 6 months and put in bogus dates and times. Like, it's all made up. But I'm curious the percentage of kids that go, because they still have them, but you go and you sit in a classroom and you study, and then you get in a car with the instructor, probably 2 other kids, and you take turns driving it and doing whatever.
Yeah.
But to get a driver's test now, like when I passed, required 0 time ever on a highway. Like, you pull out of the DPS, turn right, you get to a stop sign, you turn right, and the entirety of the test was in a neighborhood.
Trajectory, right? Yeah.
And then before it even starts in the parking lot at the DPS, they make you go forward, back, you do parallel parking, then you leave, and you just never had to go over 45.
True. That's because it's a completely different game.
That's not real driving.
To
That's
me-
just like, oh, okay.
And Tamiris learned how to drive here. My wife learned how to drive in the US
Yeah.
because she hated driving back in Brazil. It's so stressful, right? And she took 2 classes of 90 minutes, and she took a driver's license.
Yeah.
2 classes
So-
of 90 minutes.
I think
Can I borrow this?
Yeah,
please?
absolutely.
Thank you.
when you're over 18, I think that is how you can actually just skip to the very end and you just take the test. So whatever you,
You don't
need
need
to
a
do.
permit. You can just take the test. and get your
Yeah, and
license.
so whatever you need to do to prepare yourself for the written exam to pass it, and then go pass the driving test, whatever.
Man, I'm such a nerd because when I had, after 120 days, my Brazilian driver's license was valid here for 120 days or 90 days. I can't remember. So I took I had to take the driver's license, the test,
Yes.
the theoretical, and also the practical exam, right?
Yep.
And I prefer to buy. I bought this program at home, so 7 hours of Alex the Robot. So I actually paid attention to everything from that robot, because I was excited to answer the questions because the robot was so. And okay, shout out to the guy who created this because it was he's a slick, the robot is slick and say, hey George, are you paying attention? Are you sure you're paying attention? It's been 6 hours, George. So it was interacting.
Keep you entertained.
And you're like, yes, I love this course.
Yeah, I love this course. Like, yeah,
One of the few people. It's just like,
yeah. Like, yeah,
You're
you're
like, all
right.
right, George, it's time to take a break.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been here for all day.
Actually, I started cleaning my house. I had the headsets
Listening
and on TV. I sent from the cell phone to the TV. So I had the TV, and I was like cleaning the whole house from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I did the whole night cleaning the whole apartment.
just listening to it.
And then was sleep at a certain point, and they ask you what was the color of the woman's clothes in that scene. Like, seriously, they're gonna ask? Because if you make a mistake, you have to watch the whole 30 minutes. It was like a silly question. But even if you pay attention, sometimes you don't pay.
Full attention.
You don't pay full attention. But it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I think this makes education easier. And one question: do you think if I don't have kids, I have zero rights to opine, to have an opinion about that? I hear a lot of parents saying this.
About having kids?
I don't have kids. No, I don't have kids, so I shouldn't be talking about that. because I don't know what it is to be a father.
Well, yeah, you could say that about anything. It's just, I
That's
think you have a
weird.
right. You're on the other side of the spectrum. You flip a coin, you know.
Exactly, right.
You're on the other side of it,
It's
so
such a
you have your
weird thing
perspective.
to-
I know,
It's
right?
so weird
People
for
like
somebody
to shut
say,
down stuff that is like opposing their view, right? And they just
Yeah.
want to like shut it down,
Oh, yeah,
and you'll find any justification for it, you know. Like,
it's such a fallacy, you know.
And here's my thing, because I've talked to you about parenting and listened to some of the things that you have said and go like, you know what? Okay, I could do that, and it's good advice. And I've heard parenting advice from actual parents that are dog shit.
it's terrible, right? Yeah.
Hey, they're a bunch of idiots. So I'm going, no wonder your kid's a retard, you know, licking doorknobs and stuff. Sorry, that's a hard R. But to my point, it's like it does not matter. I don't know. Whoever's telling you that, it's just baloney.
I think they're so entitled, you know. It's just yeah, they pick up whatever you say and they use a straw man for that because
Right.
whatever you say is a straw man. You know,
Right.
whatever you say, they would.
They get the tax benefits, so they're in a different tax bracket. than you.
Exactly.
So they're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, all right.
And actually, I should have more to say because I pay the same taxes they pay.
George, to this day, I love that argument. I really do. I really have. Have you
Yeah.
heard George rant about it? Because I think it's brilliant. I really do. You need to pass a federal test. If you have kids, the kids have to be in your residence the whole time to qualify. There should be some qualifications to get a tax cut. If not, you're paying full price.
Exactly, you know, because otherwise, I don't mind. I chose to live there. I chose the neighborhood. I chose, you know, so I know.
Sure.
I've seen that Round Rock is the 22nd best district of our neighborhood, Forest Ridge is. The whole Round Rock is number 22 in the whole country.
okay.
In Forest Ridge, that region, if I'm not mistaken, is number 4, 5, something like this. Okay, I don't mind paying. I don't mind paying for that, you know, because
The
people-
school district is really good over
Yeah.
there. It's
And
a good school district.
when people say we don't pay for a school, of course you pay for a school. You're paying. Do you know how much the property tax is in Brazil? For let's say for a $200,000 house, okay, $300,000 house here it's going to be like $6,000, 2%,
Something like that. Yeah.
right? So $6,000, 30,000 reais. We pay less than 1,000 reais, which is $200.
Yeah.
$200, say $300, $6,000. We pay 15 times less. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
20 times less. 20 times less. So that's not free. Education is not free. It is charged. You know, education is not cheap.
Whether you're using it or not, right?
I know in California it's much cheaper, right?
What, property taxes?
Yeah, property
Yeah,
taxes.
but
Yeah,
there's an
property
income tax, a state income tax.
State
as
tax,
well,
yeah.
so there's the offset.
which makes up for that, right?
Gas tax. Well, yeah.
I think it's
More
like
taxes.
it all adds up. But when you're younger working, you know, it costs a little more than income. But later, when you retire, you don't have that high property tax. But here, it's kind of the opposite. You know, you're not double like state income taxed here, but you always do have that property. So when you go to retire, your house is paid off. You're still paying something all the
Yeah,
time.
true. And then you have homestead here. You have all
do that,
different benefits, right? So I don't know if you guys always contest your taxes because every single year I contest my taxes.
You do.
I have a company that if they win, they get 50% of the difference, and I have 50% of the difference to it because the maximum they can charge you from a year to another is 10%
Right.
by law, which is weird because if the inflation is 50%, they should be allowed to charge more than 10%, but it doesn't matter if it's less or more. The maximum they can charge is 10% because of the homestead, which is
Right.
great, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I was just like this topic is
Tax you.
interesting topic, right? So right when Hilton is not here, so he was the inspiration for that topic.
Thanks, Hilton.
Yeah. Okay. How much time have we spoken?
Ooh, about 50.
50 minutes. So how about sports, guys?
Let's get into sports. I can say my projections, I think I got one right. Just Boston.
Just Boston, which is right. So I think we all thought Boston would go through, right?
Picked the Thunder. That did not happen. I picked the Nuggets. That did not go. And I picked the Knicks. So
Yeah, I picked the Mavs, but I did also pick the Nuggets and the Knicks. So
Yep.
those are both surprising
Yeah.
to me.
It actually was great to 7 games, right? So they are playing away. They won the 2 teams, both the Timberwolves and the Indiana Pacers.
The Pacers, yeah.
They won away,
yeah,
Game 7.
and they were losing the series 3-2. They win at home and they lose away, which is very, very unusual.
yeah.
Like this combination, probably it's very rare. I don't know if that happened before. Like 2 teams that are playing away, losing 3-2, they came back.
What is that about this season?
It's just a lot of talent. I think, and we're gonna have now a new winner, right? So it's gonna be either Luka or Luka, Tatum, Halliburton. Yeah.
Tyrese.
Yesterday they lost. Man, have you seen it yesterday?
Fire. Yeah, I had a prize picks, and I had 2-3 parlays, and both of them I only hit 2 out of the 3. But it went into overtime, and I needed Siakam to hit 2 3-pointers in the whole game, and he only attempted 2 and missed them both. And then
Exactly.
Jalen Green, same thing. I needed him
Brown
3
got
too.
this three-pointer
At the end of the game.
at like 5 seconds, and then they tied the game. And then just because Halliburton, who doesn't turn over that much, he doesn't do lots of turnovers, he missed two vital, and he admitted, because the coach said, no, it was my fault. I should have stopped the game. I didn't stop the game because you were winning. It was my inexperience. And then no. 2 turnovers
Yeah.
that decided both the regular time, they
And
tied,
overtime.
and then we lost because I lost that ball. So I know he's protecting me. I like this dynamic. I don't know, man. They are playing against
Accountability.
Boston. It was very tough for them to. They play really well away in the first game. Usually Boston blow out the game in the first game, 30-40 points against the Heat and what was the one before? Cleveland.
I just started.
Cleveland, yeah. So they blew it away. They blew out the first game. Indiana was there. Indiana has one of the best also performance at home. So if they are able to win one game, they can win. They can beat 3-1.
Yeah.
It was still a decent scoring game on both sides, but I just thought the defense was really impressive. They were just all over each other, both sides.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised. They weren't given much space at all.
And it was still a high score game.
It was still a
for
high-scoring game.
Very well defensive game.
True. 117 in the regular time, and then they went
128, 129 or
yes,
something like that.
133, 129, 133, 129. It was, but it's still we know that Indiana has broken all the records of FG performance in playoffs.
Okay, wow.
71% against Knicks. 71%.
That's
insane.
crazy.
Every single shot of the game. 53% of threes. 53%.
That's
It means, man, 53% of threes is 80% of twos. Because you have to convert, right? So this is
And
amazing.
volume. They're taking a lot of threes. They're not. It's not like they're just randomly throwing. They're attempting 3-pointers often,
Very
both sides, but a lot of corner threes too.
But
Which
there's
I
a
know
reason
is
why
polarizing.
There's a very important reason why they're shooting threes from the corner. Because it's unpredictable. Because when you shoot from different parts of the perimeter,
Rebounds.
you
Right?
know where the rebound is going to be.
Yeah.
From the corner, you don't know. So that's why they shoot threes, because this is the record also of offensive
Offensive rebounds, right?
offense rebounds
It's been
because of
crazy.
this. They train to get offense rebounds. The other night,
And that's old school basketball. That is how old school basketball was played. If you shot the ball, you followed through to get your offensive rebound.
you see,
At least that's what I was
One of the
taught, and
reasons.
that was
I've
old
seen
school.
it.
one of the
And
reasons
I'll
why
take it.
what's going on with the season. That's one of the
That's
reasons.
another one.
But man, I really want the Mavs to win.
I do too.
That would be
Honestly.
Kyrie Irving second. He said like, no, I'm here. I really want. I think Doncic is going to be one of the best that ever played this game, and I would like to be on his side. I mean, and if they play against Boston, don't forget he played in Boston, and they hate him in Boston.
Yeah.
Boston is the worst. Have you seen LeBron speaking about playing? They asked him like, okay, what's the worst arena to play that you hate the most? Oh, these motherfuckers in Boston. I hate them. And so Kyrie Irving played there, and they hate him every single time he touches the ball. It's a boo.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 4 games in Boston like that, you know. So,
but they have to make it there first.
they have to make it. They are going to play against
A tough
Baby
Timberwolves.
Jordans.
Yeah.
Matt Edwards. Like,
That boy Ant.
yeah, the Joker was like, he was celebrating. He was making fun of the Denver fans, and then Joker, 7 foot tall, like, no, you don't do this. You don't respect me. And then he's like, okay, I won. You know,
Yeah.
this is going to be, those teams are going to be advancing in playoffs for the next 3-4 years.
I think it's gonna be a really good series. But as they haven't won a game 1 yet, Dallas. So
That is true.
it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
if they can change that or stick with it. Doesn't matter. You'll lose game 1, but you win the series.
And they did it twice, right? So they beat the Clippers.
Yeah.
This way.
Yeah.
And they beat number 1.
The Thunder, yeah.
The Thunder, you know, they beat number 1 and Clippers, which, if they have the full cast, probably they would be up higher. The Clippers would be higher.
It was really big for them winning that in game 6 and getting a little bit of extra rest, too. Because
Yep.
Luka has just
He's
been
playing-
torn up.
He's
Yes.
playing hurt. He's been playing
And
hurt.
today, one of I have 3 NBA groups. Like 2 are very active, right? So one of these guys says, "Hey, just bring us some out of the box theories." And then one guy shout out here to one of the guys, and he says like, Leo, he said that for the first time, Boston is the most experienced team. Because they've been going to the finals of the conference
And
finals.
they're a younger
They're young.
team.
Yeah. But now they are the most experienced ones.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I like that. I like his view on that. And I also gave my view on that, and I'm going to share here. If Porzingis
I was just going to ask, what do you think
if Porzingis doesn't play, both either the Mavs or the Timberwolves, they will sleep. They will play at the rim the whole time because they have big towers, right? So these guys, all these pick and rolls.
Yeah.
Boston is gonna suffer because what is his name? This 30, the 38-year-old from Boston,
Al Horford.
Halford. Yes, he's good, but he's 38 years old.
Yeah.
He had a
won't-
good game last night, but yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, too. Longevity,
Yeah.
Recovery time when you're reaching 40.
7 games, 6 games, 6 games. It all depends. I think the number of games that we're going to see, if Indiana pushes it to game 7, that's going to be very hard for Boston because they are 4-1. They are resting.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I saw an interesting, not interesting, but a funny meme. It said the differences between the Eastern and Western conferences. The Eastern Conference was like a family in like a meadow having a picnic, and then the Western Conference was like World War II. People dead everywhere.
Yeah.
And there were like the differences between the playoffs between the 2 conferences. And I'm like, it really has been.
Yeah.
And the only one from the East that has really proven was that Indiana and New York series where it was, a back and forth battle between the 2. But other than that,
Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia and the Knicks too. But the Knicks had 6 players out.
yeah. So that's the thing is like
Jalen Brunson was injured the whole series. He played, but he was just 1/3 of him.
Yeah.
On Anunoby,
Yeah.
I think Randall was out.
Yeah.
So many players were out. Hart was out in the last game. So I don't know. Next year, I think it's going to be more competitive because probably Embiid. Philadelphia is going to bring somebody else. Philadelphia does that every single season, right? So Maxey is going to be on the top of his game, Embiid and plus one more player. So
They have to. Philly has to do something to bring a little bit more talent if they want it. If they want to be serious.
Antetokounmpo also is going to play the finals next year. Next year, he didn't play this year, so that's why they are out. But I don't know. It seems like
Did the draft already happen, or is it coming?
they selected the draft, and man, Detroit is so unlucky, right? So they were the worst
They
for.
get screwed every year.
And Hawks, I think Hawks got the
Yeah.
first draft, right? So I don't know who. I'm curious to know who is San Antonio Spurs or
That's what
Austin
I'm
Spurs
curious.
next year. Yeah, the Spurs. Who are they gonna draft? Because
That's what I'm curious about.
today Wemby was chosen also for the defensive team.
Really?
He's the first
rookie.
player ever to get this. We got like 5 players who are on the second defensive team, but he's the only player in history that in the rookie year got into the
First team?
Interesting.
first team. So first year,
That's
skinny
impressive.
guy.
We're up to go. He is a skinny guy.
He's gonna puff up like Shaq. Have you seen videos of Shaq in the first season?
No, not the first season.
He was like he was
He had muscles.
he had muscles. He was more agile.
I mean, that's common. Though. They bulk up and
But then
They get on a
he
regimen.
became a monster, right? Just like Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
He was like tiny, not tiny, but very thin,
Yeah.
So
What about the Pelicans guy? He came back. He was injured, and then
Zion.
Zion.
he came back beefy.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
season,
And he was fine, but then he got injured.
and he got injured.
So they're speculating he's gonna go to Golden State.
Really? Okay.
He's gonna Golden State is gonna play him 15 minutes a game. I would tell you.
Shit, he's gonna get fat off the bench. You're just gonna see the weight just start piling on.
Yeah, but he doesn't shoot threes, and then
Zion likes to eat, man.
yeah.
He,
That's why it's not. You don't put him in New Orleans, man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
such
that's true.
Unhealthy food.
Yeah.
What is
Golden State would be a good place for him, right?
if I am his manager, I say
You're
Food-wise.
vegan, yeah.
Yeah.
Turn vegetarian.
if I am his manager, I would say which was the worst kitchen in the whole 30 franchises. Oh,
Yeah.
it's in I don't know. Let's say Raptors. Okay, let's move it. Let's move to Raptors. Yeah, man. So I really want the Mavs to go through against Boston to have a showdown. I really want that. So, but I still
That's your.
yeah.
I'm gonna write that down
Yes.
because George was right. Wolves beating the Nuggets. So
I was surprised by that.
when he said it, I was like, bullshit. I'm writing it down so I can rub it in his face when it doesn't happen. And look at me, egg on my face. It didn't happen. So you're saying, sorry, who in the finals?
Boston versus Dallas. I think Kyrie is going to score he's going to score 40 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really kind of slow in first halves. So if he
Yes.
can pick up the pace a little bit or just produce. That being said, when he's not scoring, he's distributing. He's getting a lot of assists. So it is what it is. But he's single-handedly taken over these fourth quarters and what's keeping everybody alive.
Well, let's go-
Luka's just been struggling.
Let's go through I mean, I know it's not going to end, but we can talk about it. So who are we feeling are going to win these series, the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, now that they're here?
I'm thinking Dallas in the West.
Okay, so you're thinking Dallas.
But I think Indiana might pull it off in the East.
Okay.
Wow.
And
that's
gonna
a
be,
call.
and it'd be very tough. Yes.
Oh, that's going to be awesome, man.
It's tough, but I think they could. I think they have a lot of momentum, but it'll be tough. Boston's just
George, you already picked yours, Boston and Dallas.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to.
could also be a Boston, Minnesota, but you never know. We'll know a little bit more after game one, but it doesn't tell you everything.
Yeah, it changes after every game.
Yeah. Unless some guys get injured and then they're done. then
Man,
that would be a
Minnesota
big-
won the 2 games in Colorado. Then they went and they lost 3 games. They say it's gone, it's done.
Yeah.
And they won. They beat them. They man, they did a good job.
Impressive.
What's the date today?
The sixth player of the year
22nd.
is the sixth player of the year. The winner was from Minnesota, and he was for me. He was the X factor.
Michael Conley.
No, what is his name? It's a big guy. It's a center. I forgot his name. He was the.
I don't know.
Okay, I forgot his name. Memories.
Carl Towns?
No. Townsend and Gobert are in the first team, right? He's the sixth guy. And he scored 23 points in 2 games. He
Support role, but really stepped up.
Yeah, because when you have a guy like this, for example, number nine from Indiana. Have you seen this wide, super fast, energetic guy?
Yeah.
Which comes from the bench, dude. He's a rookie. And he was an X factor for me too, in the series against the Knicks. So it's exciting. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't remember being so excited like that. So many games exciting.
That overtime game last night got exciting, but it was very winnable from Indiana. I mean, they almost had it. So that's going to be a close series if they keep performing the way.
And Indiana's a young team. Indiana is a young team.
They're going nowhere. They're going nowhere. They're going nowhere. Like they have long contracts.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be playing together for the next 3 or 4. They're going to be there for a while. Yeah, I mean,
and I really think these set teams that are in the playoffs, these final teams, are going to do everything they can to keep their base, their core people together because it's working. It's working. You see some of these like super teams later on, they go like, yeah, we won, but we could get rid of him and put someone in and da. I feel like, I mean, Dallas, maybe 1 or 2 people move, and that's a super
one
team.
more guy at Dallas, that's gonna be hard. So
right.
But
that's what I'm saying. 1 or 2 guys, and I mean, and that team is golden. 1 or 2 guys in Indiana, that's good, golden. 1 or 2 guys at the Nuggets. Gold. See, I'm saying like there's only like slight adjustments with all of like these good teams.
No need for a big change. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Blow out and
get rid of them.
like
and bring on this.
Clippers now get rid of all the players and
right.
So the Clippers, they sacrifice until 2030 every single pick they have. They don't have picks until 20, and then they are building this gigantic new arena. Because they thought, with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
He hasn't been producing the way
I don't think
he's meant to.
I think his career is going to end super early.
He gets injured too much.
Yeah.
He's not going to play the Olympics. I'm excited about the Olympics because it's going to be, they put the photos of Jordan in the middle, Jordan, Bird, and Magic. And then it's Steph, LeBron James, and KD. So they have this. This team is strong. Halliburton is going to play. Tatum is going to play. Edwards is going to play. Yes, Edwards is going to play. So think about it's going to be Steph, Edwards, Tatum, LeBron, KD, and Embiid. That's the
one that keeps throwing me for a loop. That he's playing for America.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be a heck of a team. That's a dream.
From the bench, Halliburton comes from the bench. You see what I'm saying?
That's such a great bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They are, I think the U.S. is going to win because of that. I think they are hurt. The U.S. team is hurt because they lost the World Championship last year. So I think they are hurt. That's why LeBron says he's going to play. They never play. I think I think because of the bench, they will rotate. It will make no difference. It will make no difference. As they rotate. Right. So have you seen changing subjects? Have you seen that I sent the group the
switching gears?
Yeah, the switching gears. The new McLaren.
Yes.
Oh my God! What is that?
It's a tribute. It looked really nice. Yeah. Are they going to debut that this next race?
I hope so.
It's Monaco this weekend.
Is it this
weekend? I thought it was next weekend.
It's this weekend, I'm pretty sure. The 24th.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
24th. That's Friday.
Are we gonna watch it?
That's when it starts. Well, the race isn't on Friday, but that's when the race weekend starts.
Oh yeah, race week. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, Monaco, 1 day, 11 hours when it starts. The actual race is 8 a.m. on the 26th.
This is the most charming race, I think, right?
Everybody wants to win Monaco.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where it's like you got to get a good qualifying time because there's not much passing.
Yeah.
So how was it? I know I wasn't able to attend.
Oh, yeah, it was cool. I was shoeless. I was shoeless. You ever seen it? I took a picture of me in the group.
Use the restroom.
Yeah, shoeless.
I didn't.
All right, so
that.
I didn't want to miss the start.
Yeah.
So I ran with my stuff, and then I put my shoes on the outside of the car because and then I was going there. I forgot the shoes in my garage, and then I get there. Fuck it. And then we went to the coffee place.
Oh yeah. Hold on, I saw your bare feet now.
Yeah, I was barefoot.
I was so confused why it was like George's bare feet right there.
I was barefoot walking on the streets.
Yeah.
Making. I said a friend of mine is now is Australian. He's got a citizenship, and I said, hey, can I apply for Australian citizenship because they walk barefoot everywhere?
Yeah.
So I said, can I apply for that? I think this is one of the tests. Qualifications to get Australian citizenship. So
how funny.
yeah, I'm thinking Plan B, right?
Yeah.
My Plan A is the US. My Plan B is Australia, New Zealand. New Zealand is my Plan B.
Yeah.
My Plan New Zealand and Norway. Plan C. Australia is
too
Plan
cold
D.
though. Too cold.
Yeah, but everything is so smooth there. I got a friend who lived there working for Yara, just gigantic multinational.
Yeah.
Do you know this company, Yara?
No.
Okay.
Sounds familiar, but
Yeah, Yara is it's a gigantic company. So a friend of mine lived there. A friend of mine, so just like acquaintance. And apparently, all you have to do if you want to attend school, you just show up. You just have to understand Norwegian.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, citizenship. Just pass the Norwegian test.
Really?
That's how you become.
Just go there.
Yeah, just how you become a Norwegian. That's what I saw. I was told. It's not me. I'm just quoting.
Right.
But yeah, so
that's Plan C.
Plan
But
C.
so what was the race interesting? Was it fun?
It was a lot of fun. It was fun because Verstappen again had this technical problem, and then what is this young racer from McLaren was getting into his neck. He went to the last lap.
Yeah.
Was 0. He was like he could actually actionate what is that, the turbo or whatever.
Right.
He could actionate that in the last lap, so he could have overturned Verstappen, but it ended up not overtaking him. So Verstappen was first, and then I forgot his name, Lewis or something.
Yeah, I can't
It was
remember.
the second one. Yeah. Perez was all the way behind in 10th.
Really?
Yeah, I think his position in the start was in 11th, so he got it in 7th or 8th, something like this.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it was fun. Spock was
Yeah.
Spock,
I like Spock.
Hilton's friend was there too. They opened the bar only for us.
How funny.
Yeah, it was fun. It became a thing.
Yeah.
All Sunday mornings, going there. The coffee shop. I just found out this coffee shop, really interesting coffee shop.
Pecan Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
It's an
like it.
interesting one.
Yeah, how so? How interesting?
Well, they have the variety of coffee there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think it's slick. The place is kind of trendy. Yeah, I liked it. I like the place. I mean, I haven't drank the coffee yet, but they have good options. And what I liked it is that in the pour overs, usually they only have like 1 or 2 different beans, and there it's like no, you can choose whichever you want it in the pour over. So this is not common,
right.
So, and it's in what, Fluggersville?
Yeah.
So Fluggersville has this option. This is an international thing.
So I remember when they first opened because the old building was abandoned, and then it was just a small mom and pop, ran shop. do you get the Community Insider magazines?
No, what is that?
So it basically tells you about shops that are opening, anniversaries.
Okay, like the 512.
Yeah,
yeah.
but Community Insider is for like Hutto, Round Rock, Pflugerville,
Okay.
like this northern
Metropolitan
Austin
area.
Yes. But I had read about, when I was living in Pflugerville at our other house, about them opening up, and small, younger couple, they're like, yeah, let's get into a coffee shop business, da 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 da, da, and it just blew up with popularity. They're like, we're gonna make it like a cool little hip little spot to be at and offer so many services, and I'm glad to see that they're growing, because it's been it's always cool to see small businesses excel and do really well.
And it was packed.
It's always packed.
I didn't
George,
order. I didn't order
always
because there was a big line, and think about it, the big line was like 5-10 minutes in the line.
Yeah,
Plus 10 minutes to
to get your coffee.
to get the pour over, because it takes longer. Then I won't impose to the guys to wait for 20 minutes.
Right.
If I were by myself, I would have done that.
Right.
Famidis is gonna go there with me next time. So
Cool, good.
yeah.
No, I like that place. I like it. I wish them all the success. Any small business, I wish them lots of
And
success.
Prost, which is the place where we watch it. Think about that, man. In Pflugersville, you have a pub, a bar that is specialized in car races.
Yeah. Yeah. That they opened up for you guys to go.
Only for the four of us.
Anybody listening out there that would like to watch the Formula One race with us, please join us. We'll be at the Prost Ale House in downtown Pflugerville.
Right. And I love the place. That corner.
That's so
Like
cool.
3 or 4 different bars in there. Then the
Old
coffee shop.
historic
Old historic,
Pflugerville.
yeah. Clean,
Yeah.
nice, easy parking.
Yeah.
That's the experience I don't have downtown.
No.
I don't have downtown. It's always a struggle.
Yeah.
So I totally
You've gotten to
recommend.
a point in life where you don't need to struggle any more than that's necessary.
And because this is what I want quiet. I want nice. I want, I don't want it packing and, elbowing to get a place
Yeah.
and being looked upon because I don't wear shoes.
Yeah. Or be like, look at this homeless guy with no shoes on.
Exactly. And no one looked at me. No one looked at me. No one looked at me. Like,
There's 4 of us there, but
yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying when I went to the coffee place, no
oh,
one.
is that it? Yeah, we walked all over the coffee place.
Yeah, no one looked at me, and I was impressed. And I went all the way to because we came here afterwards.
Oh,
We
that's
thought
right.
about recording a Batidera,
Yeah,
but
that's
he
where
forgot his computer.
Came in with like 10 seconds to spare right before the red lights went out. And
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, fuck, I don't have any shoes. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like, buddy's here. He's
Yeah.
like, buddy, you did have a coffee.
I did. I did with my coffee. Yeah,
It was a good time.
It was. I mean, every single time you go there, it's
These 8
Easy
a.m.s are a
going.
little tough.
Yeah.
But
So, what do you think
To
of
get
the
everybody
race?
there.
Well, and it was tough. It was tough for me. So the day before, it was my niece's first
And I saw that your Sunday also had parties on Sunday. So, was it on Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
So we held it at our house. It was my niece's 1-year-old birthday.
I saw that, yeah.
So people didn't leave the house until about 11, and then it was destroyed, and there was like 30 people there. So
You have to clean and
man.
clean and organized, and then on top of that, the capacitor from our air conditioning went out. So I'm sitting at 80-degree weather at night.
Still?
No, I finally
Oh,
got it fixed. I got it
It's like,
fixed.
oh,
I'll tell you
Jeez.
something. There are 3 things you must have in your cell phone in Texas: a lawyer's contact, a doctor's contact, and someone who can fix your air conditioning.
Yes.
This I don't have it. I don't have them in Brazil. I would always have this.
you up.
But definitely I need a good guy because
The guy that Hilton recommends, I've used twice, and both times the technician who's come out, straight
we got
shooter,
2
doesn't
years
mess
in a row.
around. He's like, hey, this is
2
what
years
you
in
do.
a row we had a problem. And our air conditioning system is new. 5 years. It's just 5 years old.
yeah.
It wasn't supposed to. The outside part froze.
Capacitor.
Yeah, the capacitor froze. Like the whole thing froze. Then the guy had to clean the whole thing. It was
Wow.
$700.
Jeez.
So people
bad.
don't tell you that when you buy a house.
No, it's always something.
do you calculate it's gonna be $200 to do the lawn? $200. Do they tell you that's gonna cost you $200 extra dollars? They don't tell you.
Or get fake turf like I did.
Was that? Oh, yeah. So how do you feel about it? Because Tamiris is totally against that. And in parts of my backyard, because there's so many trees,
They don't grow.
they don't grow in that part.
Come in the backyard and experience it for yourself. First day we
Because
got
when I went there, it wasn't. When I went there,
No.
yeah, it was
No.
just regular.
Yeah.
You put the whole thing
in the backyard.
in the whole backyard,
Whole
just
backyard.
like Hilton. Hilton did it.
Yes, he landscaped some of his. There was and there's like one side of the house where nothing's there. It's a small area, so we put rock. Because it's like nobody's gonna go back there.
Right.
Nothing
Yeah.
happens over there. But the main area and then the one side by where we keep the garbage cans and stuff is
I'm looking for someone who works with wood. That
Dylan.
because our deck is so bad, it's so fucked up. So I want to take that out. Try to save it. Maybe, we have to hold a Brazilian barbecue for you guys there,
Yeah.
like our style, Tamiris and mine style barbecue, right? So
Yeah.
so definitely we should do that soon. Yeah, so just on the last word,
I know a
like
thing or two about wood.
oh, look at that!
Whoa, Master Fleck.
Oh yeah!
That is really
That's
cool.
so cool. Look at that. Yeah.
It took way longer than I
This
thought
is
it
like-
would. Yours is going.
Oh no, man!
What do I have?
Oh, my
I am
God.
excited to see.
That was so funny.
That's cool.
That's my, like you have your indigenous name, like Harry the Sun or something.
Oh, look at Dylan's.
It's just that was my practice run to see if it would work or not.
I mean, it was perfect.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
So I
cool.
was telling Hilton we got to come up with one for him. He couldn't decide, so I told him, he's not here, so maybe we can decide.
I beat PK.
I told him, I said, should we put Hilton PK Killer or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Put a cart, like a go kart or something. We got to come up with something for him.
Right, definitely. And you should
He always says
advertise
he's a
that.
Viking. We can make him like
Yeah,
Hilton the Viking or something like that.
It would be cool.
like a
Man.
Viking riding a lion or something. You can't pick a team
That would actually be hilarious.
if we could
Yeah.
design it.
With like a go-kart going around.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun.
Gonna have to use AI for this. I mean, it'd be able to do it though, right? The sort. Can you give me a Viking riding a lion,
With
racing PK in a go kart, but winning?
Well, the new AIs, buddy, I will tell you. You
It'll
see
come
that
up with something.
because I have the beta because I paid GPT-4 for 6 months,
Uh-huh.
so they invited me to be beta, a tester.
Uh-huh.
So they sent me the GPT-4
5.
IO.
Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Let's get that into next week.
Yeah.
'Cause I wanna
Good,
talk
good,
about
good.
that. Because
Definitely.
I want to talk more about that.
Right. Cool.
Another great episode, as always. Thank you for everyone that had joined.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks,
Please
Mom.
share
Like
Comment.
and subscribe.
subscribe. Yeah. Cool, man. We had fun here.
All the above.
Good time.
Yeah. Cool.
See you
And
next
check
week.
out that game.
See you. Bye bye.